Good evening, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. So, welcome back to my Dragon Oracle card series. The Dragon card for this week, the week of January 11th, 2026, is the Golden Atlantean Dragon. Golden Atlantean Dragons. So these dragons help us to remember the wisdom of Golden Atlantis. They help us to awaken and to bring back our knowledge, gifts, and talents, and to reclaim our mastery. I think this is the third time this card has come through in this series. I'll have to double check. I know it's come through at least one other time. So if you've been following the series, this card should look familiar. So the biggest impression coming through, and again, it's not the first time that a card has repeated. And so when I've checked in with Spirit about why that happens, it's really the dragons recognizing an opportunity to help support going deeper with the messages and healing coming through. So up to this point, it's never been for any different reason other than that. So the biggest impression coming through with this one is these Golden Atlantean Dragons are helping to hold space for us, for humanity, for us on our healing journeys, on our ascension path, for all of it. And what is all of it? All of it is so there's so much going on in the world right now. And I recognize the fact that, through my own journey with sharing these messages, there is this concept, this lofty, idyllic ascension journey, healing journey, finding true path and purpose. And when things are really, really difficult, when life is really showing you what feels the opposite of ascension, it's kind of sometimes can feel like a hard sell, like a hard buy-in. Like, I don't know if I really, okay, I get the concept, it's just not feeling like that. My visceral reality is not, lovely, sitting in meditation, eyes closed, chanting mantras, whatever. I'm exaggerating, obviously, or hopefully that's clear that I am exaggerating. But for many of us, things that are really deeply seated triggers, things that are really heavy with events that are going on around the world, make it seem a little bit challenging to hold that vision of ascension, to hold that vision of, possibility of really being at peace, present, and aligned, or moving in the direction of reclaiming that aligned path and purpose for oneself. So the Golden Atlantean Dragons are coming through, recognizing that, the cliche kind of things come into play with this message. Like, it's always darkest before the dawn, the calm, it's always darkest before the dawn. There's that, I can't remember if it was a dragon message, but sometimes before there's great expansion, there's some contraction that needs to happen. Like if you are, in simple, um, I don't know, is it physics? Um, like with a slingshot, you have to pull back before you can let it go and let it soar. Or, if you're throwing a ball, you have to pull back to, gather the stored energy and then release that energy as momentum. So there's that coming through with this message, but these Golden Atlantean Dragons are absolutely recognizing that we are trying. We are trying the very, very best we can. And through our human experiences, sometimes these efforts seem like they're not getting anywhere. Like we're not seeing results, whatever those results are supposed to look like, that we've maybe applied a false belief system on. Or, if humanity is really ascending, why are all of the things that are contradictory to that seem to, why do those things happen? So again, that undercurrent of um, like the phoenix rising from the ashes, the phoenix rising from the ashes. So the idea of the metamorphosis of the butterfly that started out as a caterpillar. The caterpillar totally had to restructure its whole physiological being to become the butterfly. So there's destruction before there is rebirth. So there's this whole theme of this kind of notion coming through with this message. And Golden Atlantean Dragons are like, hey, I got it. I understand. We understand. And we are here to hold space for you to move through all of these things, all of these feels, all of these triggers, all of these emotions, to hold space while you move through these experiences, so that they can be foundations for deeper understanding and expanded awareness and growth moving forward. So again, another cliche saying that holds true with this message: what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. Um, that saying, when you're naming, in like certain religions, you're naming a god, God doesn't put before us what we cannot handle. Things like that. There's that undercurrent coming through with this, but the Golden Atlantean Dragons really want us to know they get it, they understand, and they want to be here to help hold that space for us to fall apart, for us to fall apart in an envelope of understanding, compassion, safety. Um, and if you'll notice in this image, in this picture, the the crystal here, um, each time that I've pulled this card, the crystal here is representative of us. And so you do see how this beautifully gentle, lovely, loving dragon is has its tail and wing wrapped around this crystal while this crystal is expanding. The light is shining from this crystal. It is illuminated and glowing. You see all of the, you know, rays of this glow off of this crystal. So it's not getting dimmer. It's not being defeated. It's not being tamped out. What's coming through also to support this message is how, diamonds, natural diamonds, are created from pressure, and that condensed pressure creates the beautiful diamond. How pearls are created with the friction of sand in the clamshell, or whatever. Is it a clamshell? I think. Um, the friction of that sand over time creates the beautiful pearl. So all of those metaphors apply here. And Golden Atlantean Dragons want us to give ourselves grace, Again, you hear me talk about this so often. My spirit and the dragons are bringing my awareness and guiding my emotions and hand movements to my heart center. So from this heart-centered place, hold the reverence for ourselves to know and understand that we are moving through these experiences that feel yucky. They don't feel good. They don't feel great. Maybe some of us are able to find silver linings and sparks of joy within those storm clouds, but there's so much getting stirred up. Um, so many triggers, so many like heavy stuff that's just getting stirred up. Um, and it's okay. And the only way that it can be released is if it does get kicked up and stirred up to be let go of. If we keep tamping it down and suppressing, it's going to bubble up and out in different ways that might not be aligned or could be a bit just off balance, not harmonious. So allowing us to give ourselves permission to know that we are being held by these beautiful supportive dragons in this space, to be able to sit with all of it, sit with all of it, all of the feelings, all of the ponderings, the narratives we're trying to rewrite, the frameworks we're letting go of, in the midst of all the triggers, in the midst of all the chaos. We are being held in this safe place. And these Golden Atlantean dragons, again, the fact that this crystal is glowing and illuminated, they want us to remember that we have inherently the capacity to do this. We have the capacity to hold that space. There have been several people in one of the I guess I would call it a spiritual community that I'm a part of, that have talked about being in this sort of in between state of um, transition or transformation, where there's a recognition of things really being off balance and not settled and um, uncertain, but also recognizing there's also along with that kind of grounded sense of like it's okay, it's okay, um, and just being present in the process of that transition and transformation. So yes, the Golden Atlantean dragons are coming to support us, um, so that we can fall apart and not feel like we're going to fall to the floor. They're going to uplift us and hold us in that energetic space of release as we let go of these things, as we let emotions move through and process. And they don't want us to worry about naming it, just feel it. Feel it, move through it, be mindful of how you're expressing your emotions, so that um, you are not harming or hurting yourself or others, but let yourself move through the emotions. They're there to be felt, they're there to be expressed, and they're not there to be described and named. They're there to be felt, and let them ebb and flow through you as divinely inspired. Um, and to not forget that, again, we have the capacity to be able to do this in a grounded way, in an aligned way with our, um, and when we are able to um, tap into that energy of giving ourselves grace, that forgiveness energy, um, tapping into, our breath. Um, we find that expanded still point within us that has always been there, will always be there, that is um, innately the essence of us as energetic beings having these human experiences. So, boy, are we having some human experiences right now, moving through a lot of it. And it's all okay, it's all opportunities for healing. Um, the other aspect that is coming through is that reminder that, if you follow any kind of astrology, many folks are talking about the things going on in the cosmos with the full moons and the three eye atlas and the alignment of planets and stars. You've heard me say it before. I am not an astrologer, but the themes and the messages that seem to resonate with a lot of the stuff that's coming through with these dragon cards is, and in general, is that given that everything is energy, everything has an energetic signature, energy moves and is in flow and in motion always. Um, as planets and stars shift in relationship to our planet, energy shifts and changes. There is the collective energy of the collective consciousness of humanity that is impacting our collective frequency. That frequency is rising, moving at higher and higher speeds. And as that happens, the lower frequency energies that often seem to present through our human energy field, because our human energy field is a lower vibrational frequency, generally speaking. So it just, that kind of stuff gets stirred up because it can't be sustained. Those lower frequency energies can't be sustained in that higher frequency. So naturally, we're getting this, the dust is getting kicked up, and what are we going to do with it? So, Golden Atlantean Dragons are here to help us hold space, to acknowledge and release all those things that are getting kicked up. And you hear me talk about this before, those frameworks, those narratives, those definitions, those inherent biases that we have been able to discern now, they just don't serve us anymore. They just don't serve us anymore. So, my name is Gia, and I am an intuitive psychic energy reader and healer. And I do offer personalized reading and healing on all kinds of different things. Um, with this Dragon Oracle card series, I am offering, if you reach out to me this week, I will offer a discount on a reading related to this energy, a personalized reading just for you, related to the energy and support of these Golden Atlantean Dragons. Um, I have um, uh, the prices of my readings has increased just a little bit, but if you reach out to me this week, I will offer a discount on that reading for you. This reading would be 30-minute reading. Originally, the full price is $70, so it would be 50% off for a 30-minute reading, personalized for you on the uh, Golden Atlantean Dragon energy, supportive energy. So $35. Yeah, and we could schedule it for any time. So back to the messages coming through. Since this is a card that has come through before, the Golden Atlantean Dragons are letting me know that the message is here about remembering the wisdom of Golden Atlantis, awaken, reclaim our majesty, bring back our knowledge, gifts, and talents. Golden Atlantean Dragons are letting us know that have been on that path. We are lifting the veil on those things. We are becoming more aware of and more aligned with our true paths and purposes as we've been beautifully incorporating our higher consciousness wisdom into our everyday human life experiences. So we're there, we're on that path, we're working on it, we're fine tuning this, we're recognizing that wisdom, knowledge, those gifts and talents, and we are recognizing our mastery. We are awakening, which in and of itself sometimes makes these experiences that um, don't always feel great, these challenges, these experiences, the things that are going on in the world, it kind of makes them feel a little bit more intense because we're like, okay, I know that this isn't the desired expansive possibilities, imagined possibilities that I want to have and hold for humanity's ascension. So it feels a little bit more intense because it's like, gosh, I've been doing all this work and recognizing, the things that I need to do to keep myself on my path and purpose and help with my own personal healing. And then these things happen that just seem to contradict the effort. So Golden Atlantean Dragons just want us to remember all of those things that I just mentioned. The vibrational frequency that's rising is kicking up the lower frequency energies of these things. And because they're not sustainable, they need to be stirred up, to be cleared out. I think it was one of my teachers, Nancy Rebecca. If it's not Nancy Rebecca, I apologize. But there's this analogy of like, um, if you have to clean out a carpet, when like you hang the carpet out on a clothesline or whatever, and you have to beat it to get the dirt and the dust to come out of it. Like it's like we're in that kind of process, and so don't lose sight of what is already there, our capacity to hold space for all of it, and the willingness and excitement and eagerness that these Golden Atlantean dragons want to let us know at any time we can invite them in. They are not going to come uninvited. So, in whatever way feels aligned or not, um, please do invite the Golden Atlantean dragons into this uh, journey right now where we're moving through some rapids and of the whitewater rafting. We're moving through some rapids, and there will be a still point um, along the way. But these Golden Atlantean dragons want to help us hold space. Um, while we do that, sometimes it feels like we just need a little bit of extra help. So, all right, beautiful messages, beautiful messages. So, thank you, Golden Atlantean Dragons. So, I am now going to ask the Golden Atlantean Dragons. We'll take this a little bit further again. Ask them if there's a symbol that wants to come through for us to look at today relative to these messages. So, if you've been following, I've talked about this a lot. So, symbols in my practice are simply um, a way to stabilize and consolidate energy that is aligned to come through. And this could either be coming through as an affirmation, energy, or messages that um, in this case, the Golden Atlantean Dragons want to bring to the forefront of our awareness so that we can remember an affirmative, positive message that we can carry with us. And the energy that is healed and cleared from an affirmation is energy that interferes with us really embodying those positive messages, or most often is energy that's just ready to go. It's interfering with um, the natural flow of our energy signatures. And so I do this in this series with the intention that it be for the group. Hold on. That the symbol be for the group of us. There's a coughing fit coming on. So I am going to do that. All right. So I'm just going to go silent for a moment. um, Nothing is a coincidence. I've said enough about the messages. I'm being reminded by Spirit that more is not always better, that sometimes the message is very succinct and direct. And such is the case here, I do believe. So I'm not going to pause a live recording, but as I go silent to tune into this symbol, I encourage you to reflect on these messages. Remembering the wisdom of Golden Atlantis. How do you relate to that or not? In what ways do you feel like you're awakening and bringing back your knowledge, gifts, and talents? Do you feel like you're even doing that in your fullest capacity? Do you even feel like you have any? If you did, what would they be? Reclaiming your mastery. Reclaiming your mastery of your aligned path and purpose, of your higher consciousness wisdom, that mastery that has always been there, reclaiming it, remembering it. All right. Here we go. So on this day, January 11, 2026, asking the Golden Atlantean Dragon Supreme symbol that is allowed to come through today for the collective. All right, so the symbol that's coming through is a spinning top, and it almost looks like if in a deck of cards, the spades symbol that has the point at the top, like if you were to turn that upside down and make that a three-dimensional object, that's kind of the shape of this spinning top, and it appears to be made of wood. Let's see if I'm just going to begin to heal this symbol in the way that I usually do in my practice. So we're just utilizing the capacity and the desire of our Mother Earth to want to help this heal for us. um, the earth, the magnetic core of the earth, our earth mother, always, always, always welcomes any energy that we are healing, any energy that we are releasing, and transforms and transmutes that energy into beautiful healing energy that radiates back up from her. So I'm using that beautiful intention to ground this symbol to the magnetic core of the earth. And infusing this symbol with healing energy. And reminding the energy of this symbol, reminding the messages of this symbol that we are here in this present moment on this day, January 11th, 2026. All right, so this message that's coming through is about spiritual perfectionism. And what I'm noticing is instead of this top spinning on a flat surface, we've got it spinning on our fingertip, like on our fingertip, and it's spinning so fast, and that point is so sharp that it's actually pricking our finger. And so there's also this. I remember sometimes when I was a kid, I used to like play around with like taking a broomstick or a bat or whatever and just like putting one end in the palm of my hand and trying to see how long I could keep it balanced, staying straight up in the palm of my hand. So there's that coming along with this message as well. We've got this spinning top, it's pricking our finger, we're feeling the pain, and we're still trying to keep it from falling over. It's like we've we've got to there's so much focused energy and intention on keeping it from falling over, keeping all of the balls in the air of what's going on in our human life, keeping all of the aspects of our healing journey, keeping just all of it moving so that it doesn't fall apart, so that it doesn't fall over, so that we don't, if like if one particular aspect or thing falls out of balance, then the whole thing falls apart. um, the other thing that's coming through, just as a way to drive the point home, is I don't know if any of you ever watched The Simpsons, but Homer's boss, I think it was, at one point, like, he went to the doctor and the doctor was describing that there's so many things going on with this old character that it's like all of these ailments and things are, you know, trying to cram through this doorway all at the same time, that they're all stuck and they're not going anywhere because they're all stuck up, like they're pressured against each other and held in that doorway. But if one of them pops through, then the rest of them will fall through and collapse. So there's that sense as well of like, um, holding it together, all of the effort that we apply to whatever that means, for whatever the things are that we're trying to hold together, hold it together, hold it together, hold it together. That if one little piece of that puzzle, or if someone just pulls on that little piece of yarn, and just the whole thing will start unraveling, or, everything will just fall apart. So that's the primary message coming through with the symbol. It's about perfectionism. So how this relates to inviting the support of the Golden Atlantean Dragons is, so think of the small area of this fingertip of us, notice that it's still attached to our hand, our arm, our whole body, our whole being. So, but because we're hyper focused on keeping everything from falling apart, from falling over, all we're focusing on is this. So we do still have that inherent capacity of our whole selves to apply, including our higher consciousness wisdom, our higher wise selves, our spirit, our inner knowing, our inner wisdom, our knowledge, our gifts, our talents, our majesty. It's all inherently there, but we're hyper focused on keeping the spinning top. In this message, we are the fingertip and the whole body, but we're the focused fingertip. And spirit is like, all we need to do relative to the support that's being offered from these Golden Atlantean Dragons is move the top to the larger surface, the larger plane, that flat surface, that tabletop, that floor, that ground. That's the Golden Atlantean Dragons, are that plateau, that flat land that we can share this effort with, that we can just place that top down and then have them help support keeping it together, so to speak. So that's part of the message. All right, so I'm just going to continue to maintain this grounding of this symbol. See what it's doing now, and reminding that it is November. I'm sorry, it is January 11th, 2026. Infusing this symbol with healing energy. Again, starting with that high vibrational frequency of golden healing energy, and as guided using other frequencies of healing energy, as guided by spirit, as guided by the Golden Atlantean Dragons. So the other part of this message, with this symbol and this scene that's coming through, is notice how when we place the top down, that it's either going to keep spinning or it's not going to keep spinning. Eventually it'll stop spinning, but it has had zero impact on the wholeness of us, right? Part of our finger didn't detach with it. Yep, there's a prick on our finger, but that's a wound that we can now focus on to heal. So instead of focusing on all of this stuff and the things that we feel like we're supposed to be doing to, move through whatever experiences we're supposed to be moving through, and whatever way is supposed to be the right way, according to who, right? When we let go of that, when we are able to shift our focus and attention from that to ourselves, then that's when the healing can begin. If we perpetuate the false narratives, the false definitions, the preconceptions, the misaligned concepts and constructs of ourselves, like we've been doing a lot of work to help discern what doesn't fit us anymore, what doesn't define us anymore. So if we are constantly focusing on the external of what's causing the strife, so to speak, or the external that's trying to be presented as truth, for us, if we're focused constantly on that stuff, as those external things, then we're not able to bring ourselves into heart-centered still point of recognizing that really what we need to do is turn that awareness and attention and intention inward on on healing ourselves, and then that will create that ripple effect of the drop of water, that creates the ripple effect that has an impact that way. um, Healing starts from within. All right. Another aspect of what's coming through that the dragons, the Golden Atlantean dragons, want to let us know that we're healing with this symbol, that we're releasing with this symbol, is um, some of us, because we've not really known too many other different ways of moving through our experiences, some of us find a false sense of comfort in the effort um, of of keeping things together, feeling like you're needed in order to hold it together. Like, I'm really good at managing all these different things, and this is my strength. I can multitask really well, and I can, you know, I'll do it. I can do it. Come talk to me. I can, I can be everything that you need me to be. I can be anything you need me to be. I can hold it together for you. That sense of thriving on feeling needed because you're the one that can help do it all, help fix it all, help listen to everybody's problems and all of that. And that absolutely may be something that you are capable of, and that's wonderful. Um, just because you can do it doesn't mean it's an aligned thing for you and your path and purpose to do. So, um, sometimes, though, it's hard to let go of that when because that makes you feel significant, right? That's validating. That's validating to know it's like you're accomplishing really great things, supportive things for other people and other things. But eventually you're gonna burn out. So um, I shared with a client the other day a story about being in grade school where, you know, I enjoyed music, and I had a really good sense of musicality, and I learned quickly. And so my band teacher wanted me to play the oboe in the school band, and I wanted so much to live up to that expectation of, oh, I'm good at it. That must need to be something I should pursue because I'm good at it. In high school, my math teacher told me I could be a mathematician if I wanted. I did not want to be a mathematician, even though it came easy to me. I learned quickly. But with my band teacher, I remember having this internal struggle with myself because I just didn't want to do it anymore. And it brought me to tears because I was having that inner struggle of like, wanting to live up to others' expectations versus, how do I really follow my true path and purpose in this? And I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to disappoint people. So, in that regard, just yeah, we have the capacity to do a lot as these souls having these human experiences, but just because we can doesn't mean it's in alignment with our true path and purpose. So, returning to the breath, returning to that still point within ourselves, returning to shifting our awareness inward toward what needs to be healed within ourselves first, will naturally create the opportunity for us to be a reflection of light for others. The symbol is rather stubborn to heal and clear, which is understandable. So many of these notions are just really deeply seated in our nurtured environments, and they become such an enmeshed definition of who we are. It's hard sometimes to let go of them as we step into our new selves. Just reminding that we are here on this day, January 11th, 2026, and we no longer need to hold on to this notion of spiritual perfectionism. We are allowed to give ourselves grace and to recognize when we ourselves need to be uplifted by our own inner wisdom and knowing, but also by our communities, by our tribe, by our families, by the beautiful supportive energy of these golden Atlantean dragons. Okay, there it goes. We just needed that reminder that it's okay to um, sit with being perfectly imperfect in our human experiences. And it's okay to reach out for help and support. We do not need to be perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. We are just as we need to be as these souls incarnated in these human experiences. Perfection is the state of being that we are when we came into this incarnation. So there is nothing to strive for, only to recognize the intention of being present in the present moment and drawing upon, relying on that inner innate wisdom and knowing our inner majesty, our gifts, our talents, our wisdom, to help discern the twists and turns on our human journeys, on our ascension journeys. Okay, there we go. The symbol is clear now. Just needed that gentle reminder from that grounded, heart-centered place. Of again holding ourselves in reverence with compassion and kindness and grace as we heal through these human experiences. Okay, just checking to see if there's anything else that wants to come through. No, that's it. So, for this week, the week of January 11th, 2026, in whatever way that feels aligned for you, go ahead and welcome in these Golden Atlantean Dragons. They are acknowledging that we are awakening, we are remembering our knowledge, gifts, and talents. We are remembering the wisdom of Golden Atlantis. We are reclaiming our majesty, our mastery, all amongst the experiences of being human, our humanness, which doesn't always feel pretty, doesn't always feel nice, doesn't always feel aligned or grounded, but they are helping us to remember that we have the capacity to hold space for all of it, all of the transition and all of the change. And remember how the lump of coal becomes the diamond. And remember how the caterpillar transforms and becomes the butterfly. Remember how the sun sets before it rises again. Remember that there is that retraction of energy, that contemplative, that reflective energy, that stored energy as we retreat, not because we've been defeated, but because we recognize the healing opportunity before we can then let go and catapult that slingshot forward. So, thank you so much, everyone. And until next time.